I forgot to unmute. Hi, everybody. I know. Wow. Mike, nice Zoom Test Kitchen logo. I like that. Or
Thank
splash
you.
screen. That was pretty cool. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday. Are my lights on? I'm having like everything kind of broke right before I went live. Hello. Music. I know. I didn't put the music on.
But
Sorry
you
about
did put
that.
the shirt on. I was
I know. I
proud
did
of
put the shirt on though. Yeah. I know how much we all love the music, the license free or whatever it's called music that I got off of YouTube. Let's make the rounds. Say hi to everyone. Oh, I forgot to turn this off. Let's make the round. Say hi. Ray, what's going on? I saw a nice Ivy social post today.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
I did.
that Ray. Hi, Ray.
There's two Rays. So you're talking to
There's
the
Ray.
IDI guy.
an
Ray.
important Ray. And what's his name? Who's once in a while here. Ray Harwood's next. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, not much help working here other than I'm, trying to work this event that I've got with a guy down in New Zealand for March and a 10-day event. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we need an update on the 7-day versus 10-day thing. Is there from the saga from last week that you were telling us about?
The event is still not set to 10 days. I pulled on a couple of folks in my Zoom community area, and they've contacted engineering, and engineering now says that the task has been performed. I'm still waiting for it to update in Zoom events. So apparently there's some lag, maybe a couple hours. So hopefully we'll see.
Oh, hopefully. Awesome. Other Ray. Ivy Ray.
Ivy here.
Ivy here.
I'm sorry.
I saw a social post about Ivy this week.
Well, I'm glad to see it. That means I'm doing my job.
There you go. Things going well for you?
It's going very well. Thanks.
Feeling
Recovered.
well?
Yeah.
Good.
All doing well. And we've finally got production models of Ivy that are getting ready to go out.
Nice. That's fantastic. Good. Mr. Mike with
Yes, sir.
The snowman and the that was a nice little splash screen you had up there.
You like that?
Look at that. Come on.
I can use Canva too. So that was all Canva. But yeah, that's where that came from. So, but yeah, all is good. But it's busy week. Everybody's been, asking for the last minute inventory that we have for our dealers. So that's going out the door like crazy as usual. But yeah, all is good.
Fantastic. Good. Glad to hear it. Who else is here? Mr. James. How are you, sir?
Well, today I'm not working, so I can show up on video.
And we love seeing you on video. Is everything good by you?
I finally got Zoom support to address my ticket on the week that I'm not there.
And were they able to help you even though you weren't there?
Most of it was a bunch of things where it's like, oh, we think it's fixed. And it's like, I don't know, I look at the screen and I see this says 12-1 and this one says 1-2. It doesn't look fixed to me. And they finally said, oh, well, maybe I should get an engineer to look at the issue that can look at maybe the logs and which I wanted 2 months ago. But that's weird. It just asked me to confirm my speaking language, and it's asking me if I'm speaking Russian.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Am I sounding particularly Russian today?
I don't think you sound Russian. I don't really know Russian, so I'm not sure I'm the best judge of that, but
I will agree that I'm speaking English. I don't know why I defaulted to Russian. So
okay, there you go. Well, maybe that's why you weren't getting the support that you needed from Zoom, because you weren't speaking their language. Wait, hold on. Oh, I don't have a bum. Yeah, I do. Hey,
He
John.
found it. He found it.
He found it. John Idelson. How are you, sir?
Greetings. As always, I have a new toy.
Oh, Lord.
Have you heard of the group called Teenage Engineering?
Yes.
Really?
They
I
make-
haven't.
It's a very interesting company. Take a look at it. They make a very small 6-channel audio mixer. They make synthesizers. They have a wooden choir, these wooden figures that are Bluetooth speakers, all of them terribly expensive. This one's not terribly expensive, but it's a cute little headset with a microphone on it. So I could look like the cool kids with a headset.
Teenage engineering.
That's not it.
I've seen
Yeah,
it
it
with
is.
the synth.
No, this is it. This isn't it?
They do electronic mixers. Yeah, wait,
Yeah.
let
I think
let
this is
me
it.
get you full screen so I can see what I'm looking at.
I'm pretty sure this is it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
I'm
this
wrong.
is it. Yeah, look at they make that's MIDI patch things. But see if you can look at their audio mixer. It's a very cute little thing.
I don't see it. It's not. It doesn't.
John, did you
really-
say the model was an OP-Z
Model
for
was
the
a what?
headphones?
This
OP-Z.
has a microphone attached to it.
Is it any good?
It's great.
Really?
But I
have
don't
some
see their
cool
audio
stuff.
mixer there.
I don't see it either, but they have some cool stuff. I'm trying to see how to find my way around here. It's not very easy. Hold on, let's click on this. All right, so here's
The
Is this it?
sequencer.
that's a sequencer. All right.
David, at the top, it looks to be OP-Z. If you go to the here, I actually put the link in chat for you.
All right, because I'm
And
not
that
sure
should-
there's a.
and see if
there's
that's the
a-
right one that John is talking about.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Huh. Foldable headphones. Okay. $79.
But the thing that I looked at, if you could go to their mixer, they have a 6-channel mixer, audio mixer.
Is that a USB mic, John?
On this one, no, it's standard. Oh, yeah, there's their audio mixer. Isn't that cute?
That's adorable.
So if you have $1,000 burning a hole in your pocket, I think that's what they charge for it.
Where do you plug? Where can you plug stuff in?
It uses 1/4-inch plugs on the,
All
Back
1/8 inch
of it.
plugs.
yeah.
So what do you get? Use a bunch of adapters or something?
Well, yeah, depending on what you want to do. Let's see. Smallest of its kind. You're going on. I think it'll show a picture of the rear of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Nope. They show a picture of every side of it except where you plug stuff in.
And they also have a large condenser microphone that works with it. That is USB.
Huh. Synthesizer and sequencer, battery powered, wireless connected. Here we go. Super slimline cables. Narrow profile allows you all 6 channels at once for easy. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see the picture underneath that section, Dave.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, keep going a little further.
Yeah, so
and
there's
you'll find-
USB. There
There you go.
is. So look at that. That is adorable.
Well,
Wow.
I had a person who wanted to get the smallest podcast Zoom multiple microphone setup, and that was the smallest mixer.
How much is it?
I think it was like $1,000.
Oh,
So
dear Lord.
okay, scroll back up for a second, or stop right there.
Yeah.
So the one on the extreme left is a audio recorder,
Right.
and that interesting thing is that actually spins like a record when it's recording. The center one is their large diaphragm microphone, and then the last one is the mixer.
Wow. That's cool. This is cool
And you
stuff.
could add a keyboard to it. Anyway, it turns out you can make a really very, very small kit with that.
Why is it teenage engineering?
I think don't look at me. Some of the YouTube guys who they interview some of the staff, and they're obviously young people, so they maybe started with teenagers. But that was it. I could fit a small multi-channel Zoom setup in literally a DOF bag, little.
Right, because you could plug all your little Mac Minis or whatever into this via 3.5 millimeter. Wow, very cool.
And,
Nice.
and I'll say that their synthesizer is kind of popular. If you went back to that page, it looks like a keyboard, but it's really a synthesizer. And that's all using the 1/8 plug.
Is that?
And I think
that
that's
this guy here?
Yeah, on the very left. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very popular. And so probably maintaining the whole aesthetic comes that other mixer.
It's a cool look. It's a very cool look. Nice.
Anyway, it's a little bit like I went to Disneyland. All I got was the T-shirt. I went to, teenage engineering, and all I got was the headsets. But
a lousy headset, but it's a nice headset.
It's a very nice headset.
Cool.
But enough distractions from John.
Well, you remember a couple weeks ago, someone mentioned, and forgive me that I don't remember who it was, that they were seeing ad pop-ups in Zoom. So I got one of those, but I was really happy I got it. It was just sitting at the top of my client, and it said, hey, don't forget, you can now use Scheduler. So we talked a while back about how they were upping the price for business plans, but including a couple of other features that wasn't in there before. So now all of a sudden I have access to Zoom Scheduler. And so I thought it might be interesting to kind of take a look at it and kind of see how it works and also how it compares to Calendly, because I think that's probably the other big player in the game, at least in my world. So we can do that, but before we jump into that, what do people have this week? Anything? I haven't seen any updates. I check religiously, and there are no updates. And Frank is not here to defend his honor.
I've challenged him 3 times this week, and he said it's not
December
over. December
isn't over. Right? I saw.
There's a Zoom events update tomorrow.
Allowing for 10-day events. Is that what the update is?
No, but they are. They've been talking about using the AI interface to be able to have it go out and grab data and kind of pre-populate either emails and a couple of other things. And until I see it, I don't know exactly what, but that's supposed to go live tomorrow as well. The other interesting thing, if you've ever gone into Zoom events and actually created one, there's a menu over on the left side called special roles. And after you publish your event, anyone that you've assigned as speakers or alt hosts or whatever, they show up in that special roles area. With the new update, that will actually list those people before you publish. It used to be blank until you said, oh, okay, I'm ready to kind of push it out there. And it will now populate with all of those people that you've assigned, so you can kind of tell who they are all in one place. So to me, that is a good management issue.
I haven't used Zoom events. I just haven't had the need to use it yet. One of the critiques, or not a critique, sorry, one of the challenges that I've heard different people having with it is the challenge of knowing what the event, the platform is going to look like before you publish it.
Yes.
It seems like there are a number of things that you can't fully experience until you publish, and that there are folks who don't want to publish before they are able to fully vet the experience.
Correct. And yeah, my client who's waiting for the 10 days now has already published his event because he wants to get it out there for people to test and look at, knowing that those 4 days aren't there. And I agree. They're what you can see in advance is the registration page, which includes all of your sessions and all of your speakers. It doesn't include expo sponsors and that sort of stuff. But you're right. People do want to see, what does it look like before I publish? Yeah.
Yeah. We just got some
Do we have a
insider
breaking news?
information, breaking news that the 5.17 release notes, 5.17 were just were announced today. Let's see if I guess these are them. It looks like they're meant to drop on the 18th, maybe. So let's should we take a quick look at these? I mean, let's not like dive too deep, because that's what we do once it comes out, we can play with it. But so here's I'm gonna actually skip the web stuff, because most of that's in the client stuff also. So of course they're updating the who's he what's it. Am I still, I'm still Spotlight. Sorry, I forgot to unspotlight myself before. So macOS 10.12 or below is going away. More about Zoom Mesh, visibility of feedback and help options. Oh, look at this. This is sort of interesting. Additional actions supported for Apple shortcuts. I wonder if this is Zoom Cuts now beginning to make its way into the actual client, because now there's toggle mute, toggle video, start PMI, join next meeting, and view today's meeting. That's interesting. That's all Zoom Cuts work over there, I believe. Prompt to change screen sharing full screen behavior. What does this mean? If another participant begins sharing their screen and the user quickly exits full screen mode of the Zoom window, they will be prompted to change the default setting. Choosing yes will change the window size when screen sharing setting found under screen share section of the desktop client settings. So what that's talking about is, in your settings, you can say, when someone screen shares, do I want it to go full screen? Do I want it to stay the same? Do I want it to, how do I want my client to behave? This is nice. If people don't realize that, and so now, if after it goes full screen, your instinct is to immediately say, no, I don't want that, please go back to the window, it'll now give you the option to make that, to change that setting right from there. By the way, I was teaching a class last night, and I used what's it called, the game app, Kahoot. I used the Kahoot app in Zoom. I haven't used those in a long time, and I was frustrated that it behaves, that app behaves just like a screen share. It is, for all intents and purposes, it is a screen share. And the frustration is that it completely rearranges all of my Zoom windows. My main Zoom window went away. My gallery moved down here. It just, when I go into screen share mode, and maybe I'm doing something wrong, I'd love for someone to teach me what I'm doing wrong, but everything goes berserk. And then as soon as I stop the screen share, everything's back where it belongs. So in any case, that's a screen share thing. Pair and transfer Zoom event sessions between your personal device and Zoom Room. Support for external cameras connected to iPads. Was that not there before? Because that's fantastic if it is. You could use your iPad as that's really nice. So let's see some meeting features. Anything exciting in here? Some team chat. Is this, I can't tell if this is 7.1 or not. Does anyone know? Am I looking at the right thing?
So go back to that
17.
iPad one for a second.
Yeah.
Let's read that slowly.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and do it.
External cameras connected to an iPad will be recognized and usable by the Zoom mobile app.
Ivy,
Hasmuk, thank you.
So Ray, did you hear that? Is that enough
That
for you
means-
to buy your iPad now?
That's enough to buy an iPad. Yep. Good news.
It is?
Dave,
That's all you needed?
For some reason, the YouTube people are not seeing the.
No, they are
stream.
now. They are
Okay.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right. I didn't. I was in gallery view. I'm sorry, YouTube. I apologize. Put that on the wish list, Zoom. Don't make the host look at what's going out on the stream. Allow us to define what goes on the stream. Yeah, this is a nice one. This iPad one. I really want to know if this is, if I'm looking at the right thing though, before we go any farther.
You know, it's weird because I thought Guy had mentioned that you could do that already.
I thought he had also.
With the
Yeah.
iPad.
I thought he had also as well.
Andy just said that the Apple just added the support for USB webcams on iPad in September, and this is our first major release.
So I wonder if you were kind of able to do it, but now it's exciting. That's great. That really is great. The iPad I'm not a big iPad user. The iPad camera, that's not as good as the iPhone camera, is it? Oh, it's probably as good as the front-facing iPhone camera, which is pretty terrible.
Yeah, we really would like to see the iPhone camera app added to Zoom. That would be a big boon for it, but they already know that.
Wait, explain that again.
Well, it's one thing to have the iPad, but imagine if we could put an iPhone here and connect it to Ivy. It would be great, but right now it can't. You can do an iPad, but not an iPhone.
So you could now use an iPad with Ivy?
Si, senor.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it makes a happy Ivy.
Huh. Okay. Yes, it would be nice to use a phone though. So why can't you use a phone though? Why couldn't you use a phone?
John's smarter about those things than I am.
Right now, the food chain for getting a USB camera in the phone is different than the food chain for getting it into an iPad, is my understanding.
Okay. Gotcha.
But this is nice that what they're doing there is, as Ray says, you could stick an iPad under there and then get the full eye contact advantage that the Ivy gives you. So that should be fun.
Yep. I'm just going to click on December 17th to make sure that, no, this can't be it. Although there's an update for clips here too. All right, I guess it's the 18th. No one's correcting me, so I guess it must be the December 18th release. Was there anything else in here that looked exciting? That's a big one. Again, sorry. Let me just take a step back though. For normal people, no one is going to carry an external webcam along with their iPad. If they're using an iPad, it's because they want the convenience of just having a portable device.
Well, I don't know. I think your question of who's normal, look at our group, that we define normal in a very different way.
Well, absolutely.
But how many webcams do you have around? I have a drawer of USB webcams, so I could actually have one sitting in my office, one, somewhere else, and then just be able to connect it to my phone when I sit down at that desk.
Right. But I guess, the real power of the iPad and being able to connect to USB is being able to grab a mirrorless camera, a ZV-1 or a ZV-E10, one of those kind of lightweight mirrorless cameras, and use that, and be able to use the iPad as your control center for Zoom, I guess.
But update from Andy on the chat.
But
There's
I'm
an
going to say, if you want to have a camera sitting above your desk looking at what you're doing, which many people do, you don't want to take your iPad and lift it up and be pointing.
Right.
So the webcam feature, USB webcam, is great for that kind of thing with your iPad. Makes everything nice and small.
So I actually just did that Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We had, ironically, it wasn't on Zoom. We had an event here. It was a baker, and we wanted to be able to show his hands and what he was doing up on the big screen behind him. And so I grabbed my Insta360 Link, which has desk view. I put it just on a little stand, clamped it to the table that he was working at right in front of him, turn on desk view, and then just HDMI'd into a projector up to the wall. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic. It did a really, really nice job of showing exactly what he was doing. So you're absolutely right. Using a webcam is a great use for this.
So what was he doing on the table?
He was baking. He's a baker, and his thing is he makes challah bread. And so he does all the fancy twisting and braiding and all that other stuff. And so he was teaching us all how to braid our challah bread. And then I baked mine later that night, and it was actually very good. So, all right, real quick, Zoom clips. Remind me, that's the that's the asynchronous support. So now there's, I'm not sharing, sorry. So now there's avatar support. Users can generate a human avatar. Oh, no, that's interesting. Wait a second. In Zoom clips, this must be like the human avatar that you can create in Zoom, right? Didn't we get that ability a while back?
Yeah.
Wait, how did we do have that ability, don't we? To create yeah, we do, to create a human one.
This isn't Zoom clips.
No, I understand. So I guess are they just moving it over? Is that what's happening? Background and effects. Yeah, avatars. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I remember now. So it's saying create my avatar, but I thought I had created one. Maybe I didn't. So yes, you could create an avatar in Zoom meetings. Now, apparently you can also do that, or you will be able to do that in Zoom clips. There's also sharing a portion of your screen. So I guess before you could share your screen, you could share an app. Now you can share a portion of your screen. That's very nice. Optimize for video clip to up your frame rate, and stereo audio, which I never use. I have all the sound settings set, to the highest quality. The only one that I don't turn on is stereo, because I feel like no one's listening to me in surround sound stereo. Oh, Ray is listening to me and said, thank you, Ray. Ray's listening to me in surround sound stereo.
Yeah, but your voice is coming from a single source, so you don't need stereo.
Right. I don't know if having that off actually helps with bandwidth or anything.
Cuts it in half.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah, because if you've got stereo on, it has to broadcast 2 channels, and it does both of them at the same rate.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that. That's great to know. Thank you. So I would tell most people that I work with, just keep that off.
But it's a very low bandwidth. It's not video bandwidth. It's audio bandwidth.
Bandwidth for audio, doubling it.
It's not much. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Having 2 pennies in your pocket rather than one.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So it looks like a pretty big release. Not a tremendous amount on the client side that is really it's not that I'm seeing. The full screen behavior prompt, Zoom sessions, and then the external support. Request host to start cloud recording. Meeting participants can request the host to begin a cloud recording of the current meeting. That's nice.
I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to leave that off.
Because you don't want people asking you.
If I want a cloud recording, I'll have a cloud recording.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Fair enough.
there are plenty of people asking on the Zoom community, for example. I was made the host by the guy who owns the meeting, and he left. And so I started a cloud recording, and now I can't find it. Well, I'm sorry, it's not in your account. It's in the owner's account, and people don't get it. So, I mean, yeah, just avoid that entirely. And
that's a really interesting point, actually. If someone asks for a cloud recording, I think that you're right. They're going to assume that it's going to record to their cloud.
Yeah,
you're right. Wow,
not going to happen.
By the way, our Inside Man on YouTube is telling us that Apple is not supporting what we're able to do with external cameras on iPad. It's not supporting that on iOS yet. I think that's what he was talking about. I think. Now I'm not sure. Now that I've said that out loud, I'm not sure. I apologize.
I think his point is that it's not a Zoom thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Y'all want to take a look at the scheduler real quick? I was really excited about this. Of course, I actually waited. I started to set it all up and then I stopped. So let me I'll keep this brief because I don't know if anyone cares except me. So here we go. So I'm just logged into my Zoom account and I've now got scheduler down here on the left-hand side. I forget, I think it walked me through the first time this was empty, it walked me through. So let's just, we're gonna go ahead and create a schedule. So there are a couple different options that you have here. You've got create a schedule, select between 4 schedule types for your regular bookings. There is one-off meeting, so quickly host a meeting that falls outside of your regular bookings, or there's availability poll. That's like a poll that you would send up to, it's like a doodle, for those of you who've used doodle before. So let's go ahead and create a schedule. So I'm going to do a one-to-one, I'm gonna set up a one-to-one meeting, or sorry, a one-to-one schedule. Choose a host, that's gonna be me. And then I can give it a name. So we'll call this Zoom Test Kitchen Planning. It then will you can choose a color for it. It will then create a schedule link. You can change this at the end. So if I want to shorten it, ZTK, you could do that. How long? 30 minutes. Is this a Zoom meeting? If you say no, then you can put a location in. If it's yes, then you have an option to enable Zoom meeting waiting room. Let's see what else. Private schedule, make this a private schedule. So that means only invitees who have this link can schedule with you. The schedule will not be visible on your public page. I'll show you my public page in a bit. And then extra information, which I don't have any right now. I'm gonna click next. So now I've already connected my Google Calendar to this. So I can now say, what's my availability for this particular event type? I can either use my existing availability, which I set to essentially 9 to 5 every day, or I can set custom hours. And then you can see I can take days off. If I'm not available on that day, I can change the time and do all of that. So how do I want people to be notified? Send calendar invitation, send an email confirmation. I'm going to do a calendar invitation. That's just the kind of invitation people get, I believe. And then there are all these additional notifications. This is really nice. So do I want to send a booking confirmation SMS? What if they cancel? Should they get an SMS? Or should I rather get an SMS? Reconfirmation email and SMS, that goes to them. Reminder email and SMS. And then after the event, thank you email. And in Calendly, I use this stuff all the time. After each meeting, I have a thank you email that goes out with a link for, if people want to leave a tip or whatever. And it's uncanny how many people reply to that email thinking that I actually sent it to them, which is fantastic. So let's do next. So for this schedule type, I would like the meetings to be 30 minutes. Do I want to have a limit of how many of these per day? No. Set a minimum time before a schedule starts that attendees can book. So if I don't want someone booking for a meeting that is going to start in 10 minutes, I can say that here. So we'll change that to 10 minutes. Set a maximum advance time. So if I don't want people to book, too far in advance, require a verification code if I want, and then attendee questions. By default, first name, last name, email address, and please share anything that will help prepare for our meeting. You can change this to whatever you want. You can add questions. This is a nice feature right here. Add attendees. People can, when they're making a booking with you, even if it's a one-to-one, they can add attendees who will also get the confirmations, which is nice. And then there's a confirmation page, and what do you want it to say? You can do your own, you can redirect, sorry, you can't do your own. There's a Zoom schedule or confirmation page, or redirect to an external site. Okay, let's finish. So now it has created this, and here's my link, scheduler.zoom.us/ and then this is my account, Rabbi David /ZTK. You can create a one-time link if you want, which is going to be unique, but I'm going to just use this guy, copy link. And now we'll go ahead and paste that in, and we'll be able to see what it looks like. So this is what comes up if I send people to this link. You've got the calendar over here with all the days that I'm available on, and you can see that Tuesday is blocked out. It says no availability. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are blocked out because on my particular calendar, I put those days as busy. So that's why those aren't there. And Tuesday is because I told Zoom that I don't want that. So now if I'm going to go ahead and let's schedule an appointment for later today. Can I do it? No, I can't do it later today because I'm in the Zoom test kitchen all day. So there's no availability here. So we'll choose Monday at 1:30. I can put my name in, Paskin. Let's do .com. Oh, let me click on the add attendees. So now I can add tsnd.org, another attendee, and put some text there and book. So now I get this confirmation. I can reschedule or cancel. And now I'm pretty sure that if I were to open up my email, that we are going to get, so this is the invitation that I'm getting here with all the information. This is the notification from Zoom that someone has scheduled an event with me. And those are the two. Wait, here's another one. Sorry. What's this one? So this is, sorry, this is this, remember I added a participant, right? So I just did it to two emails that come to the same place. So that's what those two are. And then if I come back over here, well, another thing is you can brand it yourself. If you look up here in the corner, I made this little, with a little avatar and little, see you soon. So you can do a little branding yourself. You still get the powered by Zoom there. So let me go back to, let's see here. Let's go back to this. So my schedule is now live. So now on my dashboard, I've got two different event types, the one that I just made and this one that I had made earlier. I can see, I have a schedule tab, what's coming up. One thing I notice is that I can't from this tab easily start this meeting. I can if I open it up, if I expand it, I can start the meeting. But from the closed, I don't know, I kind of thought there would be a start meeting button right here, but there isn't. Notifications and analytics.
Does it show up in your actual meeting list?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So here's my meeting list, and here's that thing that I just scheduled. So yeah, it does show up there.
So David, as a Calendly user, which I am as well, what do you see the benefit of this other than that's, is it free? I mean, if it's free, the difference is you don't have to pay for it, but I mean.
Right. So it's not free at all unless you have a business plan, in which case, I mean, you could say it's free, but you're paying for it,
Right.
Otherwise, it's 60 something dollars
A year.
a year or a month.
That would be a year. So $5 a month.
Yeah.
60 a month, no one's going to buy it, but $5 a month, people might buy into it.
Yeah. So I think for me, as at this point, remember this just came out, there are two pretty significant downsides to it. So one downside is with Calendly, I can attach prices to events. So if if I'm doing a consultation or something, people can't book this consultation with me until they pay. And so they pay up front. So that's a really nice feature. The other thing is that, look, I would say 9 out of 10 of my meetings are on Zoom, but I also want to give people the option to not meet me on Zoom. And so, for example, in this one, let me actually go to. So this is one of my. I have a ton of different calendars, and by the way, this is what Calendly looks like. So it's a little bit of a different look. Let me go ahead there. 10 o'clock. Boom! I can fill all this out, and then I told Calendly I want to give people the option of Zoom, phone call, or on site. And if I say on site, they're going to get the address in their confirmation email. If I say Zoom, they're going to get the Zoom information in the email. And right now that is a little limited. It feels a little more limited on the Zoom side. So are there advantages, other than the fact that it's included in my business plan? Are there advantages to using that over using Calendly? I don't think so, not yet. I mean, Zoom integrates so nicely with Calendly that Yeah, go ahead, please.
Working on the shipping of the.
Oh, John, you're
Sorry
unmuted.
about that.
No, it's okay.
But David,
keep working on the shipping.
I was going to say, well, now I forgot what I was going to say. There was some benefit there. Yeah. So Zoom's thing of putting this all together is really minimizing task switching. And and the amount of oodles and oodles of time saved because it's all in one app.
And not having to have not just app switching, but just not one less account to manage somewhere else. I get the value there. Yeah.
I've got Calendly in my Stream Deck. It's one button and it just comes up. So yeah.
Yeah. And I know that there are some people who really can't stand Calendly. I like it. I like it. I will say that I kind of I do appreciate the way Zoom's looks. Let me actually. I just want.
You can only really see times on one day in Calendly. You can't really look at the week view.
Exactly. So I like that about this version. Let me switch back to the Calendly real quick if I can.
There's one other thing that I really like about Calendly that I assume that if the person you are going to be scheduling with also has Zoom's scheduler, is that if I'm trying to schedule on someone else's Calendly and it knows that I'm logged in as well to Calendly, it matches up. Here are the times that you're available that person is also available. So I don't even have to look at, am I available this time? It highlights the ones that we're both commonly available for. So that I like that.
Yeah.
Right. But this is setting up your schedule for people to schedule with you.
Yes.
So you've already told them, here's my availability. Although, correct, that's just their general availability. That doesn't mean that they don't, they could.
And I'm assuming, David, you said you already synced it up to your Google Calendar, so that if you go into your Google Calendar and set something in there, it automatically blocks that timeout, which is what Calendly also does.
Correct. So you're able to, let me pull up the settings here. Accounts. Yeah. So you have connected accounts. the selected calendar is right there. You can see that.
Yeah.
So there's connected accounts. So this is all schedules will be made to your selected primary account. So there's both which calendar which calendar or calendars do you want me to check for your availability? And then which calendar or which calendar do you want me to put this event? So this first one, if I click on edit, you'll see I've got all my different calendars here, and I want it to go to my main calendar. And then this is check for conflicts. And I could choose all of these calendars if I want to. It defaults with your main one. In fact, I don't think I can I turn that off? No, I can't turn that off. So your main calendar, you can't, the one that you selected up above for connected accounts, make sure that you choose the one that has all of your events. But if you have multiple calendars that you want to use, then yes, you can do the same thing here. And it looks like you can add another account. I wonder what adding another account means. You could.
So that's an account that would then populate the calendars off of that account.
Yeah, I guess so.
A separate account. Yeah. Like I've got emails for, obviously good clicks, but then I'm on my HOA board and I've got an email over there, which is separate. And I've got my own kind of personal with family and friends and that sort of thing. And you can attach all of those accounts to it.
So this is nice. Yeah, I didn't think about this before. So here I just connected a second account. I can have one as primary. And now on this account, I also have the option to say which of these calendars do I want it to check.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not really even using this yet, but I'm gonna turn it off for now. Actually, I'll disconnect. The other thing that here's availability. You can set your availability here, your default availability, and give it a name. So usually on Fridays, I'll have it there, but I'll say I'm only available till 3 because, I have a very, very important engagement at 3 o'clock Eastern every Friday. And I can edit the name and call this ZTK.
Must be important. Frank showed up for it.
Frank is here. Holy moly. And then there's nowhere to save. This is just kind of it. Active on. Oh, and then from here you can choose which calendar is it on. And then branding is where you do your logo up at the top. The only other thing, it signed me. Oh no, that's interesting actually. So it signed me out because I logged in with because I added another account. It got confused, I think. And now I'm going to have to do this thing again, of course. All right, here we go. The other thing you can do is, so these are both one-to-ones. This one-to-many, choose a host. I don't actually know what this is. Let's see. We'll call this a team meeting. We'll do it as a Zoom meeting. Max number of attendees. Let's say 6. Okay. Use existing. We'll do that. Next. We'll leave all that the same. We'll leave all that the same. Yeah, same questions. All right. And then, so now let's see what this did. What this created. Presumably what this is going to do is gather. Now see this, now I'm confused. What do you think this does? This isn't letting people choose convenient times.
Yeah, but isn't this they picked? So it would seem to me like in the normal scheduler, right? You put that out and you say, you can pick a half-hour slot with me, and once Ray does that, that locks that meeting. But it seems like this would then allow you to keep that time open, and then another person could also book time in that. So you could have, 3 people in each meeting.
I'm just not sure why you wouldn't just add attendee. And how is everyone going to know that that's the time that was picked?
First come, first serve.
Right.
But
So
then-
I'm just saying, like, let's say you wanted to meet with people in only groups of 3, because it was just too many. That allows, like any one of those people these are all open times. And then once 3 people book up that time, it then makes it unavailable.
Right.
Whereas the normal way, once one person schedules with you, it makes that unavailable. Which is an interesting thing. Everything else I've seen in this, besides the integration with Zoom, is what you can do in Google.
In Google.
Yeah. In Google, you can do the scheduled times, and every step you did looked exactly the same as it does in Google. The only thing in Google is it doesn't allow you to add Zoom. You
Right,
can
because
add
they
Google
push you
Meet.
to Meet. Yeah.
Although you can add that in your description, you could add a Zoom meeting, because that's
In Google, I have an icon that I allow to be part of that invitation. And so I can actually just make it it gives me the choice whether to make the invitation a Meet or a Google Zoom or a Meet event. So those are little blocks that come on every time I schedule something.
right. But that's when you schedule.
If I schedule something, and invite. Oh, I see what you mean.
This is when people want to schedule with you.
Got it.
I really don't understand what this is, what I'm doing here, this team meeting idea.
Over on Calendly, I know that you can. I've done it, for example, with some HOA people. The 3 of us want to meet together rather than doing the whole doodly thing. You can set up a meeting and put 4 or 5 times in it that you would like to propose.
Right.
And then they get to go in and check the ones that they're willing to use. And then once you get consensus, it'll book the meeting for you.
Agreed. Well, that's a doodle. That's the same thing as, right. Calendly does, that's exactly what a doodle does.
Right.
And Calendly does the same thing. That it doesn't seem to be what's happening here, because I went in. So I booked a meeting on Monday the 18th at 2 p.m. It's still available, but there's no indication. If I'm now a different person, there's no indication that that's the time I should pick.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, there was also the poll version, which I think is what.
Right. That's what he's talking about, the poll version.
Did we want to look at the poll version?
Right. So that's availability poll. Right. So, all right, thank you. Let's do that. It's a good idea. All right. So here you go. So here's, I don't know what calendar this is looking at. This is not my calendar. I mean, it's a calendar. Maybe it is. I don't even know. All right. So let's say
Very busy man.
team meeting, 30 minutes. Host is, it doesn't automatically put me down as a host. All right. Well, let me put myself in. Oh, maybe that's what this is down here. Because I'm already there. Okay, sorry. And then this is, see, there's no labeling here. This is really weird. Like, you don't, ZTK, I assume that's the schedule. It's really odd that there's no labeling there. I don't know what that is. All right, it's a Zoom meeting, additional options, location, description. All right, so then I can, and this is just like on all the others, I can then say, okay, and it's 30 minutes, by the way, so I'm available here. What's going on? Why is this saying unavailable? Oh, because, sorry, that's in the past. I'm an idiot. I apologize. Let me go forward. All right, so this is next week. So now I can say, oh, I'm available here and here. And these are these all half-hour blocks? Yes. Yeah, these are all half-hour blocks. So there you go. So I can say I'm available at all these times. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And now we hit next. Team meeting, details, hosts, me, selected times 10 times on 2 days. Poll visibility, allow poll participants to see each other's names and votes. Why not? Publish. My schedule is now live. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to pop it into our chat so that everyone can vote on this. And I wonder where, now this doesn't show up here. Let me, team meeting. This is interesting. Created by me. So on this page, you can see that there are different filters, all created by me, shared with me, team events. I'm on all right now. And I have the 3 that I created before, but I don't, my poll is not in here. If I click on polls, there it is. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't include that in all. Seems to me that that is one of the all.
And I put some times in the thing. Do those show up for you?
I don't know. Let's see. Polls. Yeah, I can see right here that this is actually very nice. Most popular. Jim and Ray chose that day. Frank voted for Tuesday the 19th. Yeah, I can see when everyone voted, what days they voted for, and it automatically picks the most popular. So now I can book this time. Team meeting, book schedule. So now, let's see if that should have. Let's see if that put that right on my schedule. Was it the 18th? I forget what we did.
I just heard my calendar beep in my iPhone.
Yeah, here it is. It's right there.
I got your invitation, David.
Wait, is that it? Hold on. Because I don't see the other people. I don't know. I have too many things on my that I put on my calendar. What's the date of that one that we just did? Anyone know?
December 19th.
December 19th. Oh, okay, it's over here. Sorry. Here we go. Yep, here it is. So I've got it. It created the event, and I've got the participants in there also. So let me go back. So now let's go to scheduled. So here's our team meeting. I could start it and I can cancel it. See what the cancel. Are you sure you want to cancel your event team meeting? The event will no longer appear on your calendar. Confirm. And it's gone. There it goes. Disappeared. Very nice.
Showed up on my Zoom desktop app meetings list. Yeah.
Let's see if it's gone from my. Oh, look at that. So it's. Let me refresh this. That's interesting. It did not. I deleted the event. I canceled the event. It's gone from my calendar, but it's still in my upcoming meetings.
Yep.
Huh.
So if you have to delete it from there in order to make it go away.
Yeah, that's something I'm sure they'll fix in the long run. Frank, good to see you. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
It's not the end of December's not over yet. He keeps saying it. December's not over yet.
Do you want the caveat?
Sure, go ahead.
Zoom reserves the right to, when it gives you information, it reserves the right not to meet the shipping dates. That's the short form of, so we'll see what happens.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, this is pretty cool. I do like the poll. I think I would use this. If I knew it was going to be a Zoom meeting, I would use this for a poll over Doodle in a heartbeat. That I would definitely do. Let me get rid of this.
It's back to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And
that
just
I would
disappeared
definitely
off my Zoom app.
Yep. All right, I'm going to delete these. I'll leave that one. And polls. Okay. Cool. Well, that is, yeah, I would definitely do I like the availability poll here better than the one on Doodle. Sorry,
one
go ahead.
one question I have is, so could we set in there like that authentication is required? So that way, like somehow it would like check to see that the person has a Zoom account with that email address.
Yeah. So there's make this private schedule, which means it won't show up on your public page. Let's see. That's availability.
Wouldn't you have to? I don't have access to this, but wouldn't you have to do that on the admin tool set?
I don't know.
Account
You can't do it
management.
individually.
Well, I would say
setting.
for a user might want to say that people have to use their, if they're going to make it a Zoom meeting, that they have to use their Zoom account, and that way it checks and would say like, oh, because the email I gave you is not one that I have in a Zoom account with.
So there is require a verification code, which presumably what that means is that a code will be sent to the email that you put in here, and you have to be able to access that email. So that's not ensuring that you have a Zoom account, but that's certainly one level of security.
I would be very surprised if there's not a global setting that says whether or not you can invite external participants. Like first, the admin has to allow individuals to have that ability. I'd be surprised if that setting isn't in the account management first. What's the admin allowing you to do, and then what can you do as a user? That's how they do it with most things that are sensitive or private. What if you don't want people sending calendar invites outside of your organization?
Yeah. I'm looking in the scheduling schedule meeting what do you call it? Settings.
Now, does anyone here use Calendly but doesn't integrate it with their Zoom account?
I used to do that.
And not have it integrated?
Right.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick on any specific companies in my next statement, but you really have to be careful about third-party integrations, about reading their privacy and terms of use. For lots of organizations, that's a concern. So what you integrate, you really should understand what you're agreeing to.
So Frank, are you talking about that another app that accesses, that you give your Zoom permissions to, they can then perhaps access some of your Zoom data that you may not want them to?
Definitely. They may know the addresses of your participants. They may keep the other data, like maybe your profile pictures. They might keep other things. You need to read the terms and conditions when you integrate, and you better, if you care about let's say these are your clients or your friends or something else that you feel you have a responsibility to, are you giving away all their personal data without them even understanding that you've done that by doing this integration?
Do we have any way of knowing if by using Zoom for scheduler, like by not doing a third-party integration, that Zoom is not also gathering that information?
I haven't read the terms of use around Zoom Scheduler. I don't have access to it. It's not part of my license. But if I was going to use it, I would probably consider it. But where I work, we have a privacy office and a security office, and Zoom has demonstrated to both of those groups that Zoom is a responsible company that meets privacy and security requirements that we set forth.
What I'll say from the technical standpoint is that they know that there is that data there, but do they plan on using it or not, and do they keep it or not? But something does have to happen when there is integration between the two, because there has to be some sort of talking that goes on technically.
If you go into the Zoom marketplace, the agreement you have with Zoom is different than the integrations. Those are all separate agreements, and each one of them has its own set of responsibilities and pitfalls, and you have to measure them each individually. They're separate and distinct from the one you have with Zoom. And I just want to point out, I am not a lawyer.
Ditto.
So I'll just point out something weird. So here we are. I'm in my business account. We just spent the past half an hour looking at this new scheduler. And now I have a pop-up on the bottom here that says, Zoom Scheduler helps you optimize scheduling and conveniently book appointments. Get scheduling. And it says, best of all, it's now included with your Zoom One business plan. Look what happens when I click it. So I click it. Takes me here. Okay. I'm an idiot. So I'm going to press buy now. And now it's going to charge me because for whatever reason, when it takes me to this page, it doesn't keep me logged in. That's a little strange to me.
I think with Zoom Scheduler, the way I would conceive of it personally is if people are joining your meetings from various, anyone from the planet or other organizations, Zoom already knows that, right? Like they know who's joining. So them knowing it in the scheduler is no different than them having the back end data from the meetings or the webinars. So I feel less concerned about Zoom having that information than I would with a third-party integration.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And the reason I asked it is because we don't allow third-party integrations to our Zoom. And so we would not allow Calendly access to our Zoom.
We also don't, but we do have a few selected third-party integrations, but they've also passed security and privacy assessments. And so between the one with Zoom and the one with the handful that we allow, we're fairly confident because the group in my organization that does those assessments has said yes, they meet the requirements, but it's a case-by-case situation.
And Calendly has actually not been allowed by even our general security people won't allow Calendly to our Google accounts or anything. So. But I like the idea of the payment thing. I can see it in terms of like, I'm using this for a consultation business and, for booking those times.
Yep. So when, this is not tooting, and I certainly don't want anyone to go do this now, but just by way of example. So I have this page on where people can, do a quick free thing, or they can do a consultation. And it says right here, it's, a certain number of dollars. Those are just images that point to these pages. And then when they pick one, see what actually happens here. There's the price down there, and they can pay with a credit card right there. Super simple, goes right in. I mean, the money's in my hands before I even meet with them. It's fantastic. Really, really convenient.
Can you add different things besides PayPal?
I don't know. I'm sure you can. Let's look. I'm also sure, by the way, that eventually Zoom will somehow make payments available also. Let's see here.
I use Zelle.
What do you say?
I use Zelle as a payment.
Yeah.
Cell phone payment.
But Zelle is not. Zelle you can't, that I know of. I don't think you can integrate Zelle with other platforms. Like you can use PayPal, you can use Stripe. I don't think Zelle is usually an option, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me pop in here.
I think you're right, because I had to add Square just because I didn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So scheduling settings, booking page option. I have no idea where. Booking page options. No, it's not there. Communications. No. Event details. I have no, where is the payment piece of this? Change language, it makes you edit permissions. Let me go back, let's see what's going on here. Edit. I know this is the one with payments. Wait, is it? Oh, you know what? It's not. Sorry, my bad. Show more. That's my problem. There are more hiding down there. There they are. Okay. This is the one I wanted. I have a lot of different types. I use this for everything. Here we go. Okay. So now where's the payment? Here we go. Collect payment on form. Do not collect payments for this event. Accept payments with Stripe or accept payments with PayPal. Those are the two options. And I have a Stripe account, but PayPal is kind of always my default, even though I know some people have questions about PayPal. So it's those two options. That's it.
Yeah, when it comes to a lot of these integration with these companies to go between, to add credit card payments and stuff like that, like PayPal and such, it all comes down to APIs. So if there is some sort of, if that credit card company like PayPal or such has APIs available, and in this case, that was Calendly, David, right? That you're using there for PayPal?
Calendly, yeah.
Calendly, yeah. So again, Calendly would have to go to each individual one and integrate their API information into their back end to make sure that they can allow people to integrate with it.
Frank, you declined my team meeting. That hurts.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, wait, I have that too.
It's against
where-
policy.
Excellent.
Here's the problem with doing all these tests. Problem is I can't go to bed unless I have zero inbox. Like I'm one of those people. I now have 30 emails from Zoom Scheduler in my inbox about all these different meetings and who's coming and who's not coming. Oh well. Team meeting. Man. All right, so what else is up? That was my show and tell. What else we got? Excuse me. We Frank, before you showed up, frankly, we were bored without you. So we looked at the
Wow. Okay.
release notes that are coming up.
Definitely pun intended there. Continue.
You looked at the release notes I posted in Discord?
No. The ones that, what did you post in Discord? Hold on.
Probably the same ones, the 17th and the 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cool things in there and some well-wanted addressing of issues.
Is there anything that jumped out to you? We were excited about the camera support for iPad, and
I'm dubious of they said that they've got a way to deal with the ramifications of the survey poll common library. I don't think favorites is going to cut it for a lot of people, and starring things. I think they should have metadata. You should be able to tag your polls, and then, so let's say you say polls, comma, I don't know, business X, comma, whatever, finance, comma, then you'd be able to drill down into your collection in the library of polls or surveys. I don't think just putting stars is going to address a lot of people's angst. But we'll see. Maybe it's a step forward, but I don't think it's enough personally.
presumably they're going to, with Zoom Docs coming, we've talked about this in the past. So they've got Zoom Notes, they got Zoom clips, they've got Zoom recordings, they've got Zoom polls and surveys. With Zoom Docs coming, they're going to have to start really thinking about file management and how you find what you're looking for. right now it's all in its own place, and it's not very. The search is good. Is there search in? Can you search in polls, Frank? Do you know?
Not yet. That's sort of coming, I think, next Monday with the stars, but until I see it, I won't know. But I mean, the way I read it was you could favorite things. I don't think favoriting things is powerful enough. I've read a lot of community posts where people have 15 polls in a meeting, and they have 50 different meetings a month, and now they've got 90 polls, and they're not alphanumerical, they're not sorted. So putting a star as a favorite and making it come to the top, to me, it's a band-aid.
Yeah.
I think they need to go into a tagging system so you tag your polls or your surveys, and you can put multiple tags, and then if you had a search tool, when the poll showed up, you could drill in and say this tag, this tag, this tag.
Right. There is a search on the web side of this, but maybe not in the client. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. During the actual facilitation of a meeting or a webinar,
right,
when you go to launch a poll and you get 90 results that you have to select from, people aren't happy about that. And having stars or something as a way of favoriting, I don't think it's the way to go. Maybe it's like a stopgap measure, and they're going to address it more fully at a future date, but I don't think that's going to make people satisfied.
Yeah. Someone was talking the other day about is it Vivo meetings? Is that hold on.
And there an announcement that they acquired Vivo?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's Vivo meetings, I think. Yeah, Vivo meetings. Hey guys, someone was talking about this, and what they were saying was, the argument was for some of these alternatives is that they were saying that they feel like Zoom is getting too bloated. There's too much stuff in there. Is that real? Do you all feel that?
I don't feel it, but I think there's a lot of users who think Zoom is overly complicated. Especially, let's say, for example, the toolbar in a Zoom meeting, people want to be able to reorder that. Which I can see pros and cons to. Like from a UI perspective, if I was training people at an institution how to use Zoom and everybody's toolbars are laid out differently, it makes it a lot harder to train people. If the interface is the same for every user on the planet, it's a lot easier to do tech support and to train, but people are saying there's too many things in their toolbar, right? So they want to customize it, for example. But also, in general, Zoom's philosophy to me is more like it's an enterprise tool. There's an admin, and then you're even if you are the only user of your account and you pay for it, you're an admin, and you have to do the admin things before your user account, and people aren't used to that. But I mean, my counter argument would be maybe Zoom isn't the right tool for you. Maybe go to Google Meet or something. The reason I like Zoom is because it's sophisticated and it gives you lots of ways to facilitate things and to do things. But I do understand people want it to be easier. But I think those two things are at loggerheads. Having all this flexibility and dynamic abilities versus simplicity. Maybe Zoom needs a button to say I want it to be easier. But it seems to come from an enterprise mindset or perspective, right?
We talked about that last time, didn't we? Have it that we need just a stupid button or a simple button? Yeah,
simple button.
Yeah.
I could see where people are, David, where you're getting the feedback for that. The opinion that I have of Zoom is, of course, that Zoom is made more, again, as they get more bloated, as we're using the term bloated. When it comes to their software and their functionality, of course, they want to be the one-stop shop for anything related to Zooming, right? Like everybody uses the word Zoom now as if it was Kleenex. So, and it comes down to that's basically what they want to be, is the next Kleenex when it comes to all the different types of, things when it comes to video conferencing. But again, what other people on the personal side that don't need the enterprise functionality, of course, just want to be able to meet, maybe share, maybe not, maybe chat, maybe not. Turn on the camera or just be audio, a Discord on steroids to a point. And so you can have the video and audio functionality. But again, now some of them will say closed environment. Some will say it can be an open environment. Some of them want to be able to do for free. Some of them want to be able to pay. So there is going to be all your different opinions of that. So can I see people complaining about Zoom getting bloated? Yes, that's a no-brainer, because again, everybody complains about Microsoft Office being bloated as well, especially with Office 365, where you automatically have all the different flavors as compared to just people that just maybe need Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, but they don't actually need Outlook or anything else too. So I could see where people would complain about something like that.
Can I say something possibly, I don't know, a little bit out there, but I keep seeing people threatening to leave Zoom who are free users, and they're never going to pay Zoom a cent, and they're threatening to go to some other service, and I keep thinking to myself, well, why wouldn't Zoom want you to leave? I'm sure Zoom has lots of data about how much conversion rate they have from free to paid, and if you're never intending to pay, and you're complaining about Zoom, why would Zoom care if you're never going to convert to a paid customer?
Yeah, Frank, there was a time probably 6 or 8 months ago where I saw a whole bunch of that over in the Zoom community. And I actually did some research. That's the second time. I'm getting a pop-up that says,
Yeah, Ray's freezing on us.
That's unfortunate because I really want to hear his thoughts on this.
Yeah, Ray, try that again. I think you're back now.
You're muted, Ray.
I got a Zoom quit unexpectedly, and it went down and came back up. Anyway, yeah, about 6 or 8 months ago, I had people in the Zoom community doing that, and I put some research into it, and I went through and I listed all of the companies that I could find that did free meeting stuff, and it was amazing how many of them either have shorter time frames or different waiting periods or different numbers of people and that sort of stuff. And I saw like 2 of them. One I think was bought by Verizon. I want to say Blue Jeans. It was bought by Verizon like 2 or 3 years ago. And when I was in San Jose with my wife 2 weeks before Zoomtopia, I was walking around. I found their corporate office, and I looked them up. They were closing their office the first of the year because they basically decided that they couldn't make any money. So I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, go read the Zoom financial stuff, the 10K. They very clearly put in there, what we hope is that those free people will over time become paying users. And yeah, it's like, come on, you're complaining about a free product, and yeah, I get it. You're not entirely satisfied, but don't threaten to leave. Just go quietly. Just go quietly.
But let me just play devil's advocate for a moment, because they may not be paying customers, but they may very well be employees of paying customers. And if Zoom isn't the Kleenex of video conferencing, and if our answer is, well, hop on over to Google Meet, then it loses a little bit of its status, of its ubiquitous nature. I think there's more value than just money that people are giving.
I think that's a fair comment, but I think in my case, what I'm referring to is the people who are mad because their meeting ends after 40 minutes and they have to wait 10 minutes to fire up a new meeting. They're not a paid customer or an employee of a company. They're just freeloading. If you owned a coffee shop and someone came in every day and used your bathroom, took some napkins, did whatever, and got a free glass of water and left and took a spot from a paying customer, like, I don't know, it just seems to me like I wouldn't really care if he didn't come back. And, the software model through the 80s and 90s was watermarks, limited time, you can't export the file. This isn't something new in the technology sector. I mean, it's a loss leader to let people try things for free, but to expect full service for free, I think, is unrealistic.
Oh, fair enough.
And
It's
in
a
the great
freemium model,
numbers.
though. Yeah.
And in the great numbers. I mean, they make it clear in their financial statements that they're a big drain on the Zoom resources.
And let's sort of give a little history lesson here. Let's go back to March 2020 when they gave this free to education.
Right.
And they had to cut the quality of their service bandwidth. Remember, we all kind of complained about the low bandwidth to be able to meet that need. So I think sort of in the DNA was they're really helping people. So I think the people who are getting for free are getting to use the best tool out there. But the value of the free during COVID was a lifesaver for many organizations and people.
That's a really, really good point. That Zoom, in some ways, and I know zero about the business model of Zoom, so forgive me for even pretending, but it seems to an outsider that Zoom went from being a business that wanted to make money, albeit a small business before the pandemic, to being a social services organization. I mean, truly, for education, for everyone, it really was what saved us in some ways, and allowed work to continue and allowed learning to continue. It was just unbelievable. And now it's again recreating itself into a business, albeit a much, much larger business, but it doesn't want to lose that what it had before, which is what made it such a powerful thing for so many, which turned it into the Kleenex.
Well, and Zoom still has an agreement with, I forget the name of the group, but if you have a nonprofit organization, you can sign up with them for something like $15 total. It's a small amount, and then you get half off of your Zoom Pro licenses. And so they still have opportunities for things like that. What they don't have is, you got a free account. I want to be able to run, everything. Yeah, TechSoup. I want to be able to run everything, and I want it at 1080p, and I want to run it 24 hours a day, and I want to. No, you can't have that.
You can't have that until you are able to express the real need and make a case, and then Zoom generally does do that. They do give it to you. I'm thinking about again back in 2020 when we had the Jewish holidays coming up. I apologize for the noise in the background, by the way. We had the Jewish holidays coming up, and we needed a Zoom meeting to be able to last for 3 days, for 72 hours. And I think back then, and I don't know if this is different now, the limit was 24 or 48 or something like that.
It's 30 hours.
30 hours, thank you.
Yeah.
And Zoom did it for us. A couple members of the Jewish community went to some Zoom folks that they knew, it wasn't me, and they did it for us. And Zoom has continued to allow that, as far as I know, even after the pandemic. So if you can make the case that again, that this is a service that is really going to make a difference for people, then Zoom oftentimes does do it.
Well, and there has been enough of an uproar of people who say, but I only really need to use Zoom for 2 long meetings a month, 2 greater than 40-minute meetings a month. And they now have a plan, I think it's around $6, that for $6 a month, you can have a basic plan that allows you to have up to 4 longer meetings each month.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait a second. I didn't know that. That's news to me. Basic. Here, sorry. So here's, maybe this is like a hidden plan. I don't know. Basic meetings up to 40 minutes per meeting, 100 attendees. That's still, I people who complain about this. 100 people in a meeting for 40 minutes. That's insane. Clips Basic and Notes. I want to know what are you talking about this? Maybe it's a monthly plan.
I'm looking for it. I can't find it, but I know that I've seen it advertised in a couple of places, and I've had a couple of people on the Zoom community who've said, yeah, this is great for me.
Interesting. I haven't seen that. Large meetings. They could do that as an add-on and just really price it as you know, as an add-on.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see it. I got a lot of noise. I'm gonna go quiet them down. Someone else talk for a second.
Has anybody else seen that? I mean,
Well, I haven't seen it, but I guess, you know, kind of going back to the original question, though. I mean, like, you know, people are not paying for something, they're complaining, and you know, I think that's fine. Like, for some reason, I see Kramer inside a coffee shop. You know, I'm leaving. They'd be like, "Oh, okay,
bye."
You know,
I think paying also demonstrates your commitment to learning something. Like, if you're complaining it's too complicated and also you're a free user, maybe it's not the right tool for you.
We do, to some extent, have a free society that's expecting more and more free. And that's part of the issue. I don't want to get into the political, but people are masters at finding the free side of anything, that paywalls, those kind of things. They're just the fight for the alternative to get around a paywall like crazy.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I'm willing to spend a lot of money on something, I want to get the value out of it, so I learn how it works. And if I'm not paying for something, then I'm probably not putting that much energy into learning how to use it. And then I'm complaining it's too complicated or that it doesn't work correctly. It's usually because you haven't put the effort in, because it means nothing to you. You just want the free part of it.
Well, yes, but I mean, we all pay a tremendous amount of money for our phones, and they are they're dead simple. I mean, they're just, you literally press the screen, what you want to happen on the screen. And you know, if I had to, this is why I think iPhone does so well, because compared to Android, because Android does allow you to actually get more into the weeds, whereas iPhone is all about just keep it simple, stupid. I'm not sure I'm ready to throw people who aren't willing to learn under the bus, because I think we've trained them that, you know, it doesn't have to be that complicated.
All right. You know, obviously it's a blanket statement, but it seems like the most vocal people who complain about it not being free or not giving them full access are the ones who quite often know the least about how to use the tool.
And also, I don't have any research to back this up, but I also would bet that the people who are most vocal are the ones that really abuse it. The people who check in with mom and dad every weekend and have a Zoom call, will go, oh, we're getting close to our 40 minutes, and thanks a lot for chatting. It's the people. Again, I've heard some of this on the Zoom community. It's like, no, I want to be in connection with my people, or I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, they just want to be connected. And as soon as the 40 minutes was up, they would jump right back in, and everyone would just do that. As soon as it went boop, they would all come right straight back, kind of like my Zoom client did just a minute ago. But no, it wasn't all that long ago that if you wanted to talk to somebody in another state, you paid something, $1 a minute or whatever.
A long distance phone call.
A long distance phone call. Imagine that.
There may be some of us here who remember when you would travel and you'd call back and ring 3 times and hang up when you made it home. That's
right.
Really the graybeards. But our faculty senate at the university was upset when they lifted the 40-minute meeting. They wanted to reinstate it so that none of our faculty meetings would go over 40 minutes.
Oh, I agree. You know what? I agree 100%. I've actually always said that every organization should have a free account also, and hold all of their meetings on the free account. so that they can't go over 40 minutes. I actually think that was a great thing that Zoom did. Absolutely.
So it's a yeah. I mean, to me, that's like, I didn't realize it, but that's a feature.
Right.
You know, you said, "Oh, guess I got to go. We're up to the 40 minutes."
Right.
That's a feature.
Yep. I will say also that Zoom is in a unique lane here. You know, I just, before we jumped on, my daughter called me from Israel on a video call on WhatsApp. You know, we didn't need to use Zoom for that. For the one-on-one stuff, for the family connecting, I don't need to use Zoom. I don't need a free account on Zoom. I can use WhatsApp. I can use FaceTime. You know, there are lots of tools for small, intimate family, whatever. Zoom, and you've said this, Frank has said this a few times, that it's squarely in the enterprise world. This is a business tool, and not necessarily formal business, but it's a place to get business done. It's for multiple people, up to 100 people on a free account.
I think contradictions. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, for me, since I have a Zoom phone number, it's really great because I could get a call from the kid, and I'm on the phone and say, "Let's go to Zoom." Right. And then, you know, look at the grandkid, and then we could hang up and go off to the next one. So it's not
right, but that only works. Right, that only works if you don't have a Zoom phone. Then for me to generate a meeting link, send it to my daughter, as opposed to just call her on WhatsApp or FaceTime, it's
But then, what does it say that Zoom is now available on Apple TV, which is probably in your living room, and you're going to sit on your couch with your family?
See your grandkids on the big screen. I mean, what more could you ask for?
You know, how do you sort of mesh that with the idea that it's enterprise, but then you're sitting in your living room?
Well, yeah, but I don't. Again, I'm not a normal person, but for me, I have Apple TVs all over my building here, and I use them for everything. And so knowing that I could throw a Zoom call up on this, fantastic. It's not in my living room. I mean, they are. I know that Alex likes to talk about the Apple, the Mac Mini being glue. In some ways, I use Apple TVs similar, just everywhere, because it's so easy to just be able to throw something up on the screen. AirPlay, whatever.
Yeah.
So. What else, Ray? What else, Mike? You all have been quiet. By the way, apparently, James, you had your hand up for like 30 minutes at the beginning, and I completely ignored you. I apologize for that. Did we ever actually get to you? You've now forgotten what you were going to say.
My question had to do with the payment and calendaring. Because you mentioned that was a key feature to you on the scheduling.
Yeah.
And then you answered it. So
okay. I apologize for not paying closer attention to my hands. Didn't they say at one point, by the way, that there was going to be there's a ding now? Isn't there a ding that you can turn on when someone raises their hand? I'm pretty sure I turned that off right away, but isn't there a ding or something? Because people like me were struggling with hearing or with seeing that someone's hand was raised. Help me out here, folks. Isn't there a ding?
I think there's a way to enable one. That takes me back to a Zoom community question I had a little over a year ago, I think, where a guy said, "Look, I hate the ding that Zoom does when someone enters the room. You can turn on the thing to do it,
right.
And I don't want it to go ding. I want it to go bing, and I want to go find that wave file or whatever it is and change it." And he had tried like everything and couldn't find it. And I don't know whether he ever found it, but I was of no help. It was like, "No, sorry, you get what you get." That would be a level of customization that, maybe eventually Zoom would get to, but I don't think they're there yet.
To change the ding to a bing or a bing to a ding.
To anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now entering, and read the name of the person. Yeah, that would be a nice trick.
Does anyone
ZoomOSC?
I don't know where. Does anyone know what I'm talking? Am I crazy, or is this a thing? This ding with a hand raise?
I think some kind of notification. But since this isn't my meeting, I can't really see.
Zoom Developer Forum. Hold on. Apparently, people have been talking about this.
Says play chime for raised hands.
Yeah, where is that? Where do you see that?
That's under more. Click on the 3 dots.
Oh, it's in meeting. It's not a setting.
Yeah, I found it in the raise hand. It's the up arrow on raise hand.
Oh,
There was
there you go. Can someone raise their hand? I want to see if I get a chime. Oh, that's not a chime. I got a click. I got a cluck. It was like a.
Do you want to customize it
chicken?
and make it a pretty tone?
Oh, but it wasn't a chime. It wasn't like it's not, wait. Does it say chime? I can't see. It does say
says
chime. That was
chime.
not a chime. It was a
But
click click.
But we get a chime when, as a co-host or a host, we get a chime when somebody joins.
Right.
You don't want the same sound when James.
Yeah.
has
No,
his
that's
hand up
fair.
for
You're
half
right.
an hour.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Not fair to James.
So maybe
want-
we got what Ray wanted. It wasn't too overly distractful. The click.
Can you all turn that on also?
Yeah.
As just as a co-host, you can. As a participant, do you have that option? No,
No, I do.
you do.
Yeah. No, that's recognized hand gestures.
Yeah, no, that's different.
So there's a little caret next to raise hand. At least there is for me.
That was reaction. Yeah, play chime for raised hands.
So now, if I raise my hand,
I hear
did
a
you hear?
pop.
Yeah, it's a pop.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right. Now I didn't
So
hear.
we
a
all
pop.
know. We all know you're not answering James' question.
Right. So that's
Somehow that
interesting.
pop sounded like Lawrence Welk.
Thank you, Ray, for that screenshot. Lawrence, why does Lawrence Welk pop?
Well, this is where we do the age difference. Ray smiled when I said that. You're going to have to go onto YouTube and look at old Lawrence Welk TV programs on PBS. But he did a champagne pop on the Lawrence Welk Champagne Hour.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Just before the Lennon sisters sang. Yeah.
No, Ray, we could go get our canes and talk about this elsewhere, but yes, for the rest of you,
let's go get our wheelchairs. So so you have to do this each time in the meeting. I wonder if it's persistent.
I have it locked on for me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Was it turned on when you looked for the first time?
When I joined today, it was on.
Ah, okay. All right. So I'll keep mine on. That's good to know.
Yeah, I've had mine too.
Oh, that's great. All right. I didn't realize that. Thank you for finding that, Ray. I appreciate that.
Hey, there was a time when I would see in my chat window when people entered and left the room, and I hated it at that particular point, and I managed to turn it off. But now, in some cases, I would like to be able to see that without letting the other co-hosts, who are sometimes also presenters, hearing the ding every time, and I can't get it to come back on. Anybody know the trick to making that reappear?
This is a notification in the meeting chat window.
Yeah, it was a little bit of, small text centered that would say, Frank entered the room,
Right.
John left the room. Yeah. And there were a couple of other things. So the things that I've read said to go over to your settings window and go down to the, I forget what they called it. Pull it up here. The accessibility area. So the accessibility tab and the screen reader alerts. And any of those things apparently could have a way to just be shown, I thought, but I could never get those to come back on.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Anyone have any ideas? I wonder if there's something in the.
I haven't seen it in a long time myself.
I'm gonna just peek in. What you think there would be maybe a setting? I don't know. Oh my! I just tried to log in and it did something very weird. Oh, it's logging into a Zoom support. That's not what I want.
Using
Okay.
Zoom screen reader alerts. There's a
Frank or Ray, do you think this is at the admin level or user level?
I don't know enough to answer that. Right
I
now.
don't remember. I know what he's talking about, but I don't remember. I haven't gone looking for it for a long time.
I have a quick question. So I just got a pop-up that said collaboration devices are now personal devices. And it's showing me to click over here. So I clicked over here and it's showing me an Apple TV. I don't even know what Apple TV this is. Are these the
I think that's in the release notes that I thought it wouldn't happen till the weekend, but I think that's in the release notes.
I guess I'm not sure what this means though. What is a personal device?
Collaboration device.
I mean, is this the Apple TV? Is this where I downloaded the Zoom app for Apple TV?
Yeah,
And
I think so. That's because personal devices used to be like
Facebook portals and
yeah.
stuff
why wouldn't everything that has Zoom on it be listed here? Like why wouldn't my iPhone be listed here as a personal device?
Because it was very specific to like the A lady, and there was it was a fewer set of devices, so it wasn't like phones.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong, but I kind of got the impression it was kind of like you can have a full-fledged professional Zoom room, or you could have a portal or something, and they call those personal devices because they're not really Zoom rooms, right?
That was going to be my next question. Is this Zoom rooms for dummies like me?
Yes,
right.
I think that's
Personal
that's
Zoom
what
room.
it is.
Zoom rooms has always really confused me. It's really Zoom devices. It's because there's a device in the room, right? It's not a room.
No, it's a product. Zoom Room is a product that you have. We subscribe to that in our account, so it's a very special thing, and a license for it and its abilities, and the collaboration devices had less abilities than a Zoom room. But let me just, can I make one complaint? Zoom events, I hate the name. Zoom rooms, I hate the name, because people just think
Terminology.
a Zoom is a Zoom room, and any kind of meeting is a Zoom event. And is this a webinar? No, it's a Zoom webinar. But it's like there's these different products really that so someone says, "Oh, a Zoom room," and I'm going like, well, you don't have a Zoom room. You have no Zoom room on our account, and it's like, well, no, we have a room that we use for Zoom. So,
and by the way, the flip side of that is when I was porting my pro account to the business account, I had a heck of a time doing it because Zoom kept telling me that I had a Zoom room device on my account. I didn't even know what Zoom rooms was. I had never, I maybe it was my portal because I had a Facebook portal at the time. But then I took that off and it still was showing that there was a device. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. It was fine, but first world problems. But it was a real pain because they were telling me I had a Zoom room when I didn't.
I think that goes back to the concept that Zoom is really set up like an enterprise tool, and then you've got a lot of lay people who don't really understand how to do enterprise things trying to figure it out, and it's confusing.
Yeah.
It's hard. I come from a video conferencing background, and having codecs and stuff in the room, and the room isn't necessarily the tool, it's the codec that's the tool. But now it's a Zoom room product in a room usually. You're not going to do it outside. You could, I guess, but Dedicated spaces for video conferencing is what it used to be, right? You had to go to the space, the special place in your organization that had the equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Where it became like the physical Zoom, like again, getting back to where I was talking about Kleenex, where now a Zoom room is where people use Zoom in the room. It could be on a PC, it could be on their own laptop, but yet this is a room that has been dedicated for Zoom meetings,
Right.
which is again another bad term too, because again, do I go to the Zoom room to have a Zoom meeting, or am I using two products now?
Well, video conferencing, the traditional video conferencing has morphed, but there's a lot of us who still remember how it was formal, and now it's what you say. It's morphed into something different where it's a room that we do our Zoom stuff in. That's not a Zoom room as far as Zoom's concerned.
Yeah, Zoom
Exactly.
terminology, just, I don't know, there's a lot of confusion. For example, account. Does an individual user have an account? And what if that account is joined to a larger organization? They have an account. Are they both accounts? Now, what I need you to do is I need you to check your account. Well, do you want me to check my account, or do you want me to check the organizational account? If I want to join your account with my account, it's confusing. I don't know, we need another term, but how many terms can you use for the word
I think
account?
the term should be license. You have a license on an account, or you have one license in your account, or you have one license you have 7,000 licenses in your account.
Well, and I had this conversation with Bart, who's one of the community guys working with Zoom, and he does their documentation. He says, look, we know that about half the time we refer to it as users, and the other half of the time we refer to it as accounts. What we really mean is user accounts. And I told him basically anytime I talk to anyone on Zoom community, I refer to user accounts and organizational accounts. And an organizational account has an owner and possibly a couple of admins. It might just be you, and you have your own organizational account with your personal. It gets confusing.
And again, too, we've brought it up many times here on Zoom Test Kitchen as well, the infamous knowing if you're going into the user section of the min, or you're actually, user section of your account, or you're going into the min section of the account, right. And where potentially the min could have, you accidentally you want to make the change in user, but yet you didn't make the change in the min, and the min's blocking it, but you are the min. So you've blocked it from yourself as the user, so you can't even do it on your user account.
Or where the settings are to begin with. I mean, before I really dove into Zoom, I had no clue that there were admin settings that I had to even think about. No idea, because they're hidden. I mean, they're really hidden, by the way. Like if you, it's a little. Let me take a look at this. This is so. Here we are. I wonder if can I blow this up? Yeah. So when you just jump in here,
right.
So I've got my profile, and settings are obvious. It's right there, settings. If I want to find my user settings or my admin settings or whatever, I mean, look at this.
You have to scroll down to account management and then scroll down.
How the heck am I going to, I mean, how would I even know that my account settings are under account management? I wouldn't know that.
I've been there 100 times, David.
But I'll tell you something, like I admin a lot of other enterprise tools. Zoom's pretty friendly to use compared to a lot of other enterprise level tools. I don't know. I don't find it that bad compared to some other things.
And I think you're right, but you're an enterprise guy. I mean, you understand enterprise. What we're talking about are individuals who just have a pro account, and
well, you can hire me as your admin for a reasonable rate if you don't want to deal with this stuff.
I had a basic account and I paid for a pro account, but I'm still getting caught off for 40 minutes. I don't know how many times I've seen that in the Zoom community.
Wait, so what's the answer?
Well, the answer is Zoom ought to do that for everybody automatically. The good news is there are certain
Wait,
accounts
wait.
for
What do
some
you mean
reason
Zoom?
that it
Hold,
happens.
hold on. I don't understand. What do you mean they should do what?
If you just buy a license, you have a basic account and you go in and you buy a Zoom One Pro license, it should assign that license to your only account in the organization, in the big account. It's only
And
one
it
account.
doesn't?
And
No.
and it depends. It depends. I have an account that I created separately a few probably 6 months ago. And I went through that process and it did do it. But I know people who've been around for a long time and had basic accounts that have tried it, and it might be tied to the code that was in your account when you first got it. I can't confirm that, but so many people that still comes up on the Zoom community. Less than it did, but it's still happening.
Wow.
The other one I really love that tells you that Zoom is an enterprise tool is your current version of Zoom needs to be upgraded. Contact your IT person, and then everyone's like, I'm the only person. I don't have an. Who's this person I
I don't have
contact?
an IT person, right? Yeah.
And if they would just change the language to say, something like, you need to upgrade your client, but then
Yeah.
or your IT person, if you're part of an organization, maybe that would clear up like 900 of those things a month.
There ought to be a switch on the account at the organizational level that says, are we managing them or are individuals managing their own? And then it would change that depending on which setting was in. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
James, did you want to jump in? Incidentally, for what it's worth, when you raise your hand, I don't know if it's just because Frank is really loud and obnoxious and he was talking over it, but I did not hear the ding or the chime or the.
I did hear a cluck.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. It was barely there, but yes.
Okay.
So going back to the devices, and you were talking about your devices list. If you go into, and this is kind of like exactly what you were talking about before. If you go into your Zoom client, right, where you see your settings, and you go to your profile, you will see your device list, like your phones and your computers that aren't just that personal thing.
Okay, wait a second. So I'm in, here's my client.
Yeah, now go to profile.
Where's profile?
On the left.
Top of the list.
Oh, sorry. Yep, there. Okay. And now my profile.
No,
So
you're going to go to your settings.
No, you want me to go to my settings. Hold on a second. Here are the settings?
You're not full screen. Let me see what you're
Sorry, I'll make myself full screen.
Do you want to be in the Zoom web portal or do you want to be on the desktop?
Nope, you want to be here.
So I click.
You're all blurry.
Let me get out of this. All right, so here I am. Here's my Zoom, what do you call it?
Yep, and then you go to your settings.
Over here?
Yep.
Okay.
And now on the very left-hand side.
Oh, profile.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, look at no,
There's your
but look at
device.
this. Yeah, but guess what? This is different. So this is the profile list here.
Right.
Here's my personal devices on the web. I've got
Right.
Apple TV over here, and I've got David's Mac Studio over here.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is that this device list is the thing that should list your phone and your computer.
Right.
And all those things. The other location is relating itself back to personal devices are really related to Zoom rooms. And an Apple TV is related to Zoom rooms. Like the A lady who's right next to me here, and I don't want to say her name because then she'll tell me she doesn't know what I'm talking about. But you could use like you could use the 10 to be a Zoom. What was it called before?
Personal device or Zoom room?
No, a collaboration device. It was
Collaboration
a collaboration device. And now it's called personal devices. But it's related to those things can be integrated into a Zoom room account stuff.
Gotcha.
But I've got to go. It's nice talking.
Well,
to you.
yeah, you know what? Does Zoom have a policy for mandatory dual definitions of terms? Mandatory dual definitions.
So we use devices one way. Let's use it another way and confuse everybody.
Right,
We have
right.
accounts. We've got
Right.
Zoom rooms. We've got sessions. We've got events.
Yeah. Clarity.
You know what I find interesting? These personal devices can be managed. If I want, like I can go into my list and see a lot of people have bought things that they have in their living rooms. I could commandeer them or take control of them, and there would be a huge uproar. But there's also, we don't have a policy about doing that, so we don't disallow them. But if I started to control them, I think people would be very upset.
That actually sounds like a fun weekend project.
Yeah, career-ending.
See-
Resume generating event, I think is what they call it.
A resume generating event. Very nice. All right, friends.
Good stuff.
We are 2 hours on the dot in. It was so good to see you all. So next week, the 18th, Monday, hopefully we'll have Sunday and Monday. It looks like we'll have some updates to play with next week. So wishing you all a lovely weekend, a good week. And Mike, I think we need to go out with your splash screen.
I don't have any music though, or
That's okay.
royalty-free Christmas ones.
That's
But
right.
there we go.
I'm putting you up. I want everyone to see. Look at that. I love it. Have a great one, everyone. See you later.
Take care.